independence. Ah, the British welfare state, started in good old 1948 by Anna and Bevan, inspired by the 1942 Beveridge Report. Britain has always been a good and hospitable country to its lower class, providing lots of free housing, food and healthcare since then. Since 1948, the welfare state has dramatically expanded. In the 1960s, Britain rolled out some laws such as the expansion of child benefits and some of the globe's first ever supplementary benefits for those earning under the poverty line. We also created the first ever state pensions in the early 1970s, along with a large increase in school spending, giving many young lower class underprivileged kids education. A lot of this was inspired both from 1940s. The 1980s hit, however, and with the help of Thatcher, who won in 1979, we switched things up. From being more balanced and mixed to a strong emphasis on welfare to work policies, emphasising employment and reducing a reliance on the state. This move would split the public, who had a mixed view. Whilst many supported Thatcher's less sympathetic and more individualistic ideas, idealistically promoting growth of individuals and forcing many out of poverty through their own means, she also cut down on many benefits and fully reformed the housing system in an attempt to please the lower class households, but also to cut public spending. In the 1990s and 2000s, there were many new reforms, and additions to the welfare state, many coming from Tony Blair's New Labour, including a working class tax credit, pension credit, free child support, and of course something we love to do, raising the minimum wage. In 2010s and 2020s, we pretty much kept doing that, only raised the minimum wage, added more tax benefits and universal credit. In principle, this all sounds fairly reasonable, and too many throughout the years have started to see the welfare state as being more of a burden than a positive thing, helping underprivileged communities. Here are a couple reasons why. The first and most obvious reason is that very high income taxes and inheritance taxes and other taxes in the UK. People are just sick of this. Many doctors, dentists, lawyers and small business owners are starting to see living in the UK as unsustainable. Currently, as of the 2025 budget, taxes are 20% basic rates, that's over £12,500 a year, 40% for those over £37,500 and 45% over those £125,000. Obviously, there aren't that many of them. Many of skilled workers simply see this as being too high, especially for younger workers who are just not seeing the benefits of this, which is something I'll get onto later, and are opting instead to move to tax-friendly countries such as Singapore and the United Arab Emirates. But another problem is people are just moving to other countries such as Australia and Ireland because they're just seen as more reasonable. Another unfortunate reason we see the welfare state as being a net negative is simply we fail to see the effects. For example, the notoriously long waiting lines in the NHS clinics in London, Brighton and Birmingham, and the inefficient hospitals that are state-run. Another issue many dislike is dentistry. Many complain that NHS dentistry is becoming pointless as they can't afford any NHS dentists, and they can't find any that are even taking patients, as the NHS dentists are just not being paid enough. Also, because it's only subsidised and not free, a lot of people are just not going to the dentist anymore once they get over 18, which is a big problem. Many also see a loud minority who overly proportionate themselves and who overly profit off our benefit system, who may be earning even more than they are without even working. There was that woman who's notoriously making loads off the child benefit and is also working as a teacher, for example. This creates anger and jealousy and leads to many to simply lose hope in these people. And many see this as more common than it actually is. I just want to stress that this doesn't happen very often. Many also see the welfare state as eroding their own values. A lot of traditional conservatives are tired for paying for everyone else, and are now choosing to vote for parties such as Reform UK, who pledge to shrink the welfare state and be much less generous to those in the lower classes.